Okay, so here we are to learn how to play Why I Cry by the Magnetic Fields. We're going to go through the chords first. I'm going to show you how to do it with bar chords. Then I'll go back and show you how to do it without bar chords. Then we'll get into some other stuff. But the song starts off with a 3-chord intro, which is also the chorus. The chords are A major, B major, which is the bar chord, and E major. You hold the A and the B for 2 counts each, and the E you hold for 4 counts, and it goes like this. A2, B2, E2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to call that the first pattern because it's going to come up again, as I said, in the chorus, and when it does, I'm just going to kind of pause and say first pattern, and we'll know to go back to that. A2, B2, E2, 3, 4. Now as for the verse, it starts on a C sharp minor. Don't let that scare you. It's just a bar chord. So you see this dot here, you move up 1 fret, you bar that, and you just do a minor bar chord, and that is C sharp minor. So it goes from C sharp minor, then the other chords are A, E, and B. So C sharp minor, A, E, and B. This time around, every chord gets held for 4 counts. So C sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just using a simple down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up strumming pattern. And I will continue to do that and maybe get into some other patterns later. But back to the chords, C sharp minor, A major, E major, then B. So here's what it sounds like with words, starting on your C sharp minor. And I'm sorry if I said major a second ago. My bad, if that's the case. So here's how it goes with words very slowly. All the summer days when we used to play, walking hand in hand, castles in the sand. First pattern. So you said good night. Sorry about that, but you meant goodbye. Now our love has died. This is why I cry. So in the chorus, you can see it switches chords right along with the words until you get to cry. So you said good night, but you meant goodbye. Now our love has died. This is why I cry. So you hit that E chord, and then you get to do those lovely cries. So that's the first verse and the first chorus. I'm going to show you how to do this without bar chords. Okay, starting with the chorus, you can play your A major, and again the chorus is the A, B, E. You can play your A major, and then you're going to skip this dot, and skipping this dot is going to be an important part of this song. So you see this dot here, you skip it almost every time in this song. So you play your A, then you skip the dot, go up 2 frets, and you play it again. You play that same pattern, and that gives you some kind of like weird suspension chord. sounds kind of cool. So, it sounds like this when it's all together. A2, B2, E2, 3, 4. A2, B2, E2. So you said good night, but she meant goodbye. So if you want to skip the bar chord, the C sharp minor, go ahead and actually make the bar chord and then pick up your bar. And basically you can do it that way. Or if you're like me, you just replace that with just sort of a regular A minor pattern. So in other words, you're playing an A minor, just starting on the second dot, second string, and just play an A minor. If you're going to do this, I would recommend just strumming the top 4 strings, from the G down to the E. So, here's what the pattern sounds like without bar chords. And I'm going to also substitute this for the B major. So, the second verse and second chorus, basically before you play that, you go through the verse pattern 2 times without words. So let's do that. We're going to start with the verse pattern, play through that twice, and then go into the words on the second verse and keep going through the second chorus. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Get ready to sing. From the maddening crowd, pointing up at clouds, summer turned to fall, pictures on the wall, first pattern. So you said good night, but you meant goodbye. I'm sorry. So you said good night, but you meant goodbye. Now our love has died. This is why I cry. So the rest of the song is basically just repetitions of chords, a repetition of the chorus, and then he says cry 2 more times after the last chorus. The tabs should make that clear, as should listening. And the reason I'm kind of rushing through that is because I want to focus on the riff. Before we go there, though, I just want to mention that during the verse especially, if you want to alter your strumming pattern slightly, not wanting to make any assumptions about where you are with your guitar playing, but if you have the ability and want to alter your strumming pattern, it sounds really cool. So we've been doing just a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. What I'm going to suggest you do is skip the first up. So if you're doing it really slowly, the down up pattern is like this. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So we're going to skip the first up. So it's down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Like that. All those summer days when we used to play, etc. We are now in riff country. So I'll first say it's very difficult to sing this and play this. Somebody somewhere might have done it. I've never heard it. And I'll just leave it at that. So I'm going to show you the riff, suggest a couple ways that you can use it, and then we'll also talk about sort of a substitute that you can use should you want to play something different during the chorus. But we're going to learn the riff, and we're going to learn it with numbers. Before we get into the numbers, this is your key. Your first finger, your pointer finger, is going to go on the G sharp. In other words, you go to the G, play the first fret, anchor it there, it stays there the whole time. Now, your middle finger, you go up one string, up one fret. The second fret on the D string, the note is E. So, like I said, we're going to do this with numbers. And this middle finger, this one on the second fret of the D string, is 1. The number 2 is the pinky, 2 frets up. In other words, you're skipping the dot. Remember I said skipping the dot was going to be important. So you go 1, skip the dot, 2, then your anchor is 3, and then your pinky and your middle finger that were up here are just going to come down one string so that they're on the same string as the anchor for 4 and 5. I'm going to do that a couple times slowly, starting with your middle finger on the E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me show you. Make sure you're doing it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, my pinky standing up and sitting down. Anyway, let's do that slowly, going up and back down. And also saying the numbers. That's important. When I used to teach kids, or if I were teaching this to a kid, I would actually probably put stickers on their fingers and on the frets, but we don't have to go that far with it. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, if you're having problems with that, I would suggest taking the video back and doing it a few times, or just pausing the video for a second and getting used to that, because those are the 5 notes you use for that that riff, the famous riff from this song. So what I'm going to do is just play that riff a couple times. I'm coming in cold from this, so it might take me a couple times before I get it right, but I'll play it a couple times, then I'll tell you how it works with the numbers, then we'll play it together. Okay, so again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The riff starts on 3. It goes 3, 2, 1, and it sounds like 3, 1, wise. But anyways, I'm going to play it really, really slow, and I'm just going to say the numbers of the frets and fingers. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 2, 1. really, really slowly, saying the numbers. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So again, if you're having trouble with that, maybe back up the video or pause it and practice it a little bit. I'm going to tell you one more thing about this riff, and that's kind of how you can possibly end it or transition back into the song. And that is by playing an E chord at the end. Now again, this is your anchor. It's never going to move. And at the end of the riff, you can just give your pinky a break, use these two fingers, and play an E chord. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to play something different in the chorus in case you want to have something that emulates that riff. Basically, you're going to use these two strings, your E and your B, and you're going to play an eighth note pattern. Hitting the E on the downstroke and B on the upstroke. Just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and once you've got that, once you've got your picking pattern down, or your strumming pattern, whatever you want to call it, once you've got that down, this should seem really familiar. You're going to use these two fingers on these two frets, just like you did up here for the riff, but this time you're playing on the open E string, the 2nd and 4th fret, and you're playing the pattern from the chorus. So it goes like this. I'll show it to you, then I'll explain a little bit more. Here's what it sounds like with the words. So you said good night, but you meant goodbye. Now our love has died. This is why I cry. Getting into that can be tricky, as can transitioning from the riff to the verse or the chorus. So we'll talk about that just a little bit. So say you're playing along on the verse. Walking hand in hand, castles in the sand. That's the second half of the first verse. Do it again, and this time I'm going to go right into that little thing that I was just doing for the chorus. So, walking hand in hand, castles in the sand. So you said good night, but you meant goodbye. So we're going to learn a fancy word. You probably noticed I kind of sort of cheated there. And, you know, if you want, you can practice this with a metronome, get it precise, or just practice it until you really know it. And then, yes, you'll be able to transition very easily. However, if you just want to amuse friends at parties or really, really impress them, or just play it for yourself, I would recommend using a fermata. I told you we were going to learn a fancy word, right? So fermata is that fancy word. Again, assuming that you don't know, sorry if that's not the case, but it basically just means pausing until you're ready to start the next thing. And you can do that, and it makes it just kind of look like you're being dramatic or something. But really, you're just pausing and getting your head ready for the next thing. For me, it's a matter of thinking of the lyrics I'm going to do next and just kind of getting my hand in the right position. So you're going to just kind of pause on that B chord and get it all together from the same place, the second half of the first verse. Walking hand in hand, castles in the sand. So you said good night when you meant goodbye. Now our love has died. This is why I cry. And you may have noticed that I employed the same strategy as far as getting out of that riff and back into the chord pattern. So this is why I cry. So those are all the basic parts of the song, and you'd also need to do that probably if you were using the riff that I showed you as an intro, especially, possibly even as an outro. But anyways, here's how that could look. Sure, I'm on the right place here. Okay. That wasn't a very good example, but at any rate, you see what I mean. You just kind of pause, get your head straight until you have to do that next sort of difficult thing. So that's basically it in a nutshell. One little piece of trivia I would add is that if you get good at that verse pattern, that's also the intro to Sister Golden Hair by America, if 70s AM gold is your thing. Did you notice my 70s AM rock and roll face that I used during that? Okay, so hopefully you've learned the basics of the song. And now I guess the thing to do would be to play through the whole thing kind of slowly, adding little embellishments here and there. Don't feel like you have to add the same embellishments that I do. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. All those summer days when we used to play castles in the sand, walking hand in hand. So you said good night, but you meant goodbye. Now our love has died. This is why I cry, cry. From the maddening crowd, pointing up at clouds, summer turned to fall. Pictures on my wall. So you said good night when you meant goodbye. Now our love has died. This why I cry, cry. So you said good night, but you meant goodbye. Now our love has died. This is why I cry, cry, Warts and all, there it is. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you've learned something.